Hello, I'm Matt. Welcome to my channel, Busting the Box. Today I'm very excited to be on song number 4 of my personal Ren Journey, and I'm really glad that you joined me. Today we're going to take a look at Money Game, part 1, which is very heavily requested by viewers, so let's take a look at it right now.
It's a strange time we're living in. War can put fear in. Hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior. Greed runs through parliament interiors. Devils walk among us, they fit the criteria. Eerie theory, strife, fearing, weary-minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorships. Nearly blinded by illusions to choose who's fooling who. A ball chained to your shoe.
Wow, so much stuff going on right now. So obviously Ren is casting himself in the role of a captor, and then we have a captive who's playing the guitar. Looks like they're in some sort of seedy warehouse. And in the beginning of the song, Ren was talking about how there's a lot of fear in the air and in society, and we can all feel it. And he's saying that we're also living, well, he also said that there are devils walking amongst us, which means there are people who don't have our best interests at heart. And he's saying that what else did he say? He said that we're living in a dictatorship, and we have the illusion of having some choice, but we don't. We live in the dictatorship. So that's really interesting. So a lot of very powerful images and a lot of powerful lyrics. So let's continue on here.
Theory, strife, fearing, weary-minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorships. Nearly blinded by illusions to choose who's fooling who. A ball chained to your shoes on pain. It's a crying shame. The pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets this whole world burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns. But money was invented for trade, but now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer.
Wow, so a bunch of important lines there. He's talking about how money was invented for trade, but now it twists hearts and makes slaves of us. And he's saying also that it turns saints into sinners. It corrupts the human heart. The money system we're in right now corrupts the human heart. It does not bring out the best part of us as human beings.
His finger on the trigger of a money game. Oh, rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way. And those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we like to point the blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game.
Wow. Again, so many things to talk about. He's saying a storm is coming our way, and the people who rise through distorted lies, those are these people who own the system, the money system. And he said poison in our veins. So there are people who rise through distorted lies to control us. But he's also saying it's easy to blame these people, but we've got to take a mirror and look at ourselves and see that we're playing our own part in this. Very, very, very powerful stuff. Wow.
Stop.
Okay, I may be wrong, but I can kind of see what's happening here, I think. So basically, Ren is dressed up like a professional killer. When a professional killer is going to beat a captive to death or dismember that captive or torture him to death, that person always puts on, the professional killer always puts on some rain clothes so they don't soil their good clothes. And so Ren is always kind of, he's threatening this captive. Ren represents the powers that be, the people who own the money system, and this guy on the guitar represents the average man. And let's continue.
Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas to keep us separate, when they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets. They say badly through gritted teeth, that's my right to hate, that's freedom of speech. But when did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered the murder that savages colonized all of the rest. That's cool.
Wow, I have no idea what he just said. Let me just listen again here.
Irony and freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered the murder that savages colonized all of the rest. That's cool.
Okay, I heard the word pillage, and I heard the word murder, and I heard the word colonize, so I get the gist of what he's saying, that in the West, we've done a lot of those things to other parts of the world.
Irony and freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered the murder that savages colonized all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you never keep yourselves. Your country was in flames, you denigrate yourselves in a second. Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're the immigrant, cause all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is imminent, I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonized by Rome. And also colonized by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we made the same mistakes all again. Demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, the same and the same. Old situations play on repeat. The same old TV shows repeat. Yeah, we worship the bleak. Our opinions aren't our own and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right. In the middle we sleep.
Our opinions aren't our own, and we follow them like sheep. And there's no right or there's no left. In the middle we sleep. Okay, so he was talking about all the injustices that have been happening in the world for hundreds and hundreds of years. And the same cycles keep going and going. And then he's saying that we're offered these narratives about things and we think we know the way things are, but we don't know anything. That these people who've been in charge have been creating these narratives and shoving them down our throats and meant to divide us, and we accept them and we think we know what's going on. We also accept this whole right-left thing and we think that we're supposed to choose one, but really the people on the right and the people on the left are working for the same people, probably these high-powered money interests, which actually I shouldn't say probably, that's who they are working for. And he's saying that people are asleep in this whole right-left paradigm that we're offered. So anyway, wow, there's a lot of stuff to unpack there. But I think that what he's really saying is these money masters, these guys who've been in charge for a long time, they've been doing it for a long time. They've been colonizing, and they know exactly how to divide tribes and peoples and countries. They've been doing it. They've written the playbook on it. And now they're doing it to us. So super provocative. This is a really incredible piece of art. Wow.
Rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way. And those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we'd like to point
a storm it comes our way, but those who rise through distorted lies, poison in our veins. I'm going to let you make your own interpretation about that. That's pretty provocative.
Blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game.
Okay, so there are two money games being played. They're the guys who own the money game, and they're playing their own game. And really, what is that money game that they're playing? They've got the whole system. They own it. they can conjure money out of thin air and then lend it to us at interest, and we work our guts out for our whole lives to pay that interest, and all they had to do was make a few strokes of the computer, and that money was conjured into existence. And that's the biggest scam in the world. The other thing is they can do is do the same thing with governments. They can conjure money out of thin air, lend it to governments, and then governments start paying this massive interest to private interests. So that's the game they're playing. But really the game they're playing is trying to control us. For our part, we're playing on a very low level. We're just trying to get by and get good stuff and outdo our neighbors and consume things and service our debt. But nobody's putting a gun to our heads. We have to look in the mirror and say, hey, wait a minute. How come I'm a willing accomplice to this whole money system? And it's this weird symbiosis. They can't exist without us, and somehow we think we can't exist without them. So, holy cow, is this ever provocative. Gee.
Error at ourselves, we're all part of this old money game.
This old money game. This old money game.
Okay, now the captive. He's drawn eyes on the captive. Wow. Okay, for the first time, the captive, who has eyes now, he's not completely blind like he has been, he can see what's happening. And Ren was going to pour some gasoline on him, but for the first time, the captive sees what's going on, and he offers some resistance. He puts his guitar up, and he blocks Ren. Look at how dispirited Ren is now. Wow. Okay, wow, that is unbelievable. So what I got out of that last piece is that the elites, they were going to, well, represented by Ren, were going to do the biggest, scariest thing, because that's how they control small people like us, is through massive fear. And they conjured up this great big scheme that they were going to perpetrate on us. But they were talking about it, you know, and so that is represented by, you know, the elites drawing eyes on this captive. And for the first time, the captive wasn't completely blind. And so when Ren approached him with the gasoline can, the captive offered some resistance and didn't want to go along with it and stopped playing his guitar, and immediately the elite guy, Ren, knew that the game was up. And as soon as the game was up, all the power went away. And did you see how distraught Ren looked? He knew that the game was up. And so then he walks over, and he's so addicted to power, and has been for hundreds of years, that when the game is up, he's got no reason to live, and he pours gasoline on himself and self-destructs. And it just shows that these people, their only purpose for even living is the power they hold over us. And the fact that some of us have woken up, they don't like it one bit, and they're losing their purpose in life. Wow, is this ever a really, actually, a very political and very provocative piece of art? And it's actually, among the 4 that I've seen, this is just as good as any of them. They've all been good, but this is amazing. What it shows me is that Ren is very highly aware of the stuff that we've been talking about today. And as an artist, he wants to make a comment on that. As a piece of art, it really holds up well. It's actually pretty incredible. So a good artist will be able to kind of move things from the unconscious mind right into the conscious realm of art. And the unconscious mind doesn't think in terms of words and logic and things like that. It thinks in symbols, and it thinks in metaphors and feelings. And so he's able to bring that out of the unconscious mind and crystallize it in his art. And we all immediately, instinctively understand it. And you know what? I think that that's one of the keys why Ren is such a good artist. But anyway, as far as the money game goes, Ren is challenging us to challenge ourselves about the assumptions we have about what we think we know, our place in the money game, our values, how we conduct our lives, how much of our lives are dictated by, whether we realize it or not, we have to factor money into everything, and that's like a ball and chain around our ankle. Fantastic! I'm just so incredible. I'm just so amazed by Ren. Anyway, thanks very much for joining me. See you next time.